I think the verdict will be the same for the Hamas slave revolt on October 7th, that it's a chapter in a long history which might or might not climax in their final emancipation. If you look at the history, there are the slave revolts. There's John Brown, the white abolitionist, who was also completely crazed. He was a complete and total religious fanatic who thought he was an agent of God, that slavery was such an abomination that you have to be working against it as young people say, 24/7, 365, or there's something wrong with you. Actually, when Douglas meets John Brown, you know what he says at one point? He says, I kind of found him boring. He was just totally fixated. And then he was hung for treason, as you know, after the uprising at Harper's Ferry. But then guess what? The Civil War comes along, and what are Union troops singing? John Brown's body lies a-moldering in the grave. John Brown's body. Since we're coming to 1 year, I think that's going to be the same fate if they manage, you know. But it couldn't have. Slavery was too deeply entrenched. The slave rebellions couldn't extirpate it. You know the word extirpate? Mm-hmm. To pull out by the roots. They couldn't extirpate it. It required the full force of the state, the United States, and it required 700,000 deaths to legally abolish it. It then took Reconstruction to abolish it in our Constitution with the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments. And then it took the Civil Rights Movement, which was from the deepest grassroots of African Americans in the South. It was your sharecropper. It was your maid. It took going deep, plunging deep into African American society to finally eliminate slavery in its new incarnation, what was called Jim Crow. So I think it will be remembered October 7th as a way station, but we don't know a way station to where. It may be a way station to oblivion. It'll be like the Native Americans. It's possible because I believe Israel won this round. So it's possible that's a way station to nowhere, that they're over. Gaza lost, Palestine lost. Or remember, in 1860, if you read Frederick Douglass, he says, we lost. We tried, we couldn't persuade. We couldn't persuade the country of the wrongness of slavery. He said it was hopeless. Go look at his essay in 1860. And then comes the Civil War. So it could be hopeless. And maybe it's a way station to something else. I don't know. You know the song, "It's always darkness before the dawn." It's that thought that keeps me going on. It's always dark. Maybe I won't be around.